Hey everyone, this is Junior Wong from the Binary Lab, and just as promised, I have a video for you today done over the weekend, and I wanted to basically talk about the market conditions from last week. But today, as usual, as you can see in the heading of this video, I'm going to be using analogies from sport to help you understand this. So tennis is my main sport. I'm not sure what your sport is. If you wish for me to make videos using examples about the sport that you play, comment the sport that you play beneath this video. So anyway, I'm a tennis player, and this video is going to be about five things that I've learned from competitive tennis that are highly relevant to your binary options trading. So the first thing and foremost is that okay, let's do a quick summary, alright? The last couple of weeks have been very strange. The last couple of weeks we had very strange market conditions that fluctuated throughout the day, such that it wasn't bad throughout, neither was it good throughout. In fact, many days it fluctuated between good, bad, great within the same day. And there were some days that were just completely untradeable as well, okay? Let's say, there are also the times that you win easily, and there are the times that you win the trade, but with a lot of suspense. So the five things that I learned from competitive tennis that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video is going to be very highly relevant to you, and just take a close listen and see what strikes you best and comment beneath this video as well. Okay, the first thing that I learned from competitive tennis is that the importance of warming up. So warming up actually prevents different kinds of injury. We all know that warming up prevents injury, but warming up prevents not only muscular injury, it also prevents you from having cardiovascular injury as well, because there are going to be the times where okay, from a muscular injury point of view, let's say if we warm up, we know that recreational players would think that if we don't warm up, we don't stretch, our muscles are tighter, we can hit faster and snappier shots. That's partially true, but over the duration of a long tennis session, you're going to get more muscle tears and ligament tears as well. And then the other thing is like cardiovascular warm-up. Why is that important? Because when you warm up, you're actually raising your pulse rate. You're preparing your heart to be able to cope with the amount of pressure that you're taking. So the same thing goes with regards to your account. Not just when you're trading, like when you in a sense of like you want to be warming up yourself as well, your mentality. Because let's say a few days off trading, coming back to trading, you can find it that suddenly, from being very carefree, suddenly trading feels a little bit stressful. Alright, so how can you warm up for your trading? Well, one of the ways is taking very tiny trades. So when taking tiny trades, seeing whether you're doing it correctly or not. That's a way of warming yourself up to the game. Alright, and then at the same time, another way of warming up is looking at the charts. Let's say if you don't really have small cash to throw, then you just want to be watching the charts, marking out where you think the trades are going to be working and where it's not working. And if it's not working, you better take the opportunity to analyze why it's not working, because it's the warm-up. Like when we play a match in tennis, warm-up is also a time for us to assess our other opponent, and then that way we can get a better idea of whether we are good. It's our way of sizing up our opponent as well. We can see how are they hitting the shots, how are they running for the ball, are they breathing well and all that. So the same thing with your account, and then let's say it helps you train your anxiety for the trading as well, because too many a time when people start trading, they just because yesterday they finished off with some big trades, they think that today they can start with big trades as well, but it's not always the same thing, right? And then the second point is that understanding your opponent. No opponent is ever the same. Okay, so when you understand your opponent, you want to take note of like the market conditions. Like, how is today's market? Is it very spiky? Alright, is today's market very trendy? Is today's market full of consolidations? Because if it's very spiky, then maybe I want to fish for tops and bottoms. If it is very trendy, I want to be doing breakouts. If the market conditions is very range bound, then I definitely want to be doing a lot of reversal trading, right? And then the third thing that I learned from competitive tennis that makes a lot of sense right here is that you want to be able to execute your plan. So after you warm up, alright, that's part of like bringing your performance level up, and as well as kind of beginning to read your opponent. Then the step two, also about reading the market, which is like reading your opponent as well. And then you execute your plan. So let's say if you think that today should be a trending day, then we're doing like a lot of trending and a lot of consolidation breakouts, right? And then if you think it's a reversal day, so be it. If you think you're going to be fishing tops and bottoms, so be it as well. But when you're executing your plan, you know, sometimes the player may be different from what you expect. All right. When you execute your plan against your opponent, sometimes they warm up. Have you ever encountered opponents that warm up and play a totally different way, right? There are those, and I know it's irritating, right? So when that happens, and then you find that it's a totally different game, then you know it's the time to pull back and replan as well. Executing your plan also includes replanning as well, and then the way you execute your plan, some of the things you want to think about it is that like when you get a certain kind of okay, let's say in tennis, right, I hit the ball pretty hard, all right, and I serve the ball pretty hard, quite fast, one of the fastest in my estate, all right, maybe even the immediate like 15-kilometer radius, so one of the fastest servers around this area. But and most of the time, if I can get into a match and you know crank up a fast serve, probably hit 1 or 2 returns, and I win the point. And we would love it to have points that are so easily won, right? And it's just like when we trade the market. Sometimes we come into the markets, when we place a trade right from the beginning of the trade, we know that the candle is steadily moving in our desired direction, and in a span of 1 minute or 2 minutes, we win the trade real clean by 3 pips, 4 pips, 5 pips, 7 pips, even sometimes, right? But there's going to be the times when we execute our plan, and then suddenly, somehow, we thought it's going to be a trending day, but there's a lot of oscillation. You know, we always know that volatility is good, but volatility with a lot of uncertainty and direction also gets us very nervous. And that is the same as sometimes, you know, when I think that I can just crank a hard serve and then, you know, make 1 or 2 returns and win a point, I'll be surprised to find out that the opponent actually returns my serve like nothing, and then hits my return of his return like nothing as well. And before we know it, we're into a 35 hit rally before we win the point. So it's almost as if we have to make like micro wins again and again during the point. And in terms of the actual workload, it could be a lot of action. You know, a point is a point, just like a profit is a profit. But how much actual workload is involved? I know in trading it may just be that single click, but for that trade to go back and forth, like in the money, out of the money, in the money, out of the money, in the money, out of the money, rather than being on one side all the time, that is almost like as though you have won the same trade many times over. So that brings us to the next point. Like I wanna talk about one thing that I learned as a tennis player, a competitive tennis player in particular. Okay, so when I was based in Australia, we would have as many as 4 tournaments occurring during the same time during any given week. So let's say if I lose this tournament, I could enter the next one, and basically what we do is that we enter a whole bunch of it, and if we win, we stay on till we win, and then we might end up playing just 2 tournaments in that week. And then let's say if we win if we win an event, we might just take the whole rest of the week off. But let's say if we lose, we go out to the next one, go out to the next one, go out to the next one. And then sometimes even at one particular tournament, I could be entering multiple categories. I could be playing the Bs, the As, and the specials. Like in Australia, they have that system. So let's say if my coach tells me that, and I believe this is true, because sometimes if you encounter a very tough opponent where every point is going to be a 35 hit rally, yes, it's important to be able to overcome these kind of players. But let's say if you're getting all that kind of player in the beginning round, whereas all the so-called washout opponents are at a different tournament, and if you're playing for prize money versus playing for experience, you know, then it's obviously, sorry, the flies, it makes a lot of sense to want to bail, you know, it wants to like, it makes a lot of sense to want for you to actually like bail out and go over to the next tournament. So basically it's like bail and move on, alright? That is part, actually, just a moment, I gotta reposition this thing. I'm actually putting this on my 9 bot. Alright, so bail and move on. So bail and move on to the next. Like when you're trading, let's say if you find that to this session, you know, there's so much of all these like all this tension inside of a trade, Alright, the tension of one trade sometimes can be as many as 10 trades altogether. Have you ever felt that? If you felt that before, comment below this video. I think you know what I'm talking about. Especially the last 2-3 weeks, you definitely know what I'm talking about. So build and move on to the next, and it could be the next session, it could be the next session, meaning that let's say if you trade Asian session and sucked, go out, try London. If London sucked as well, try New York. And then you know, if we know that for a given week the Asians seem to suck, let's just skip all the Asians and just trade the Londons. And then if all the New York sucks, let's trade only London. If let's say you know, a whole week sucks, then just come in the next week. So it's always very important to bail, conserve your strength, move on to the next. A lot of the time, you know, we think that if we're up there for experience, yeah, sure, these conditions can really help us grow as a trader. But at the same time, if we're looking for account growth, we don't really. What is the point of training for, let's say, you know, okay, soldiers. You guys been in the military before? I don't know. In Singapore, military is compulsory. In North Korea, it's compulsory. Thailand is compulsory. South Korea is compulsory. Taiwan is compulsory. There's a lot of countries where military is compulsory. I'm not sure about you, but in the military, what are we usually doing? We are very often training and doing simulations for things that almost never, but we certainly hope never happens. And it's exactly like that. All right. So if we are constantly, but in the military, why do we train? Okay, we train to prevent crisis. All right. But the fact of the matter is, most of the time we're in a fairly idle environment and we love it. Although we know how important it is to prepare for crisis, we rather not have it. So it's just like trading. You know, we know that times can get quite tough sometimes, but if you're in it for the money, we'd rather not have that drama. So let's like bail and go on to the next. And then finally, the next thing is this. The final element would be like, you want to recover and train. Recover and train. Let's say going out of a tournament, understand why you win, understand why you lost, know where you fell short, know where you can improve on. And then when we recover and train, we're also doing one additional thing, is planning, as in what other tournaments to go into. So let's say based on like the coaches would often sit down with us, and you know, for different categories, it's often the same group of people. Let's say we're playing the Bs, it's always a group of people, the As is always a group of people, the Specials is always a group of people, and certain people go tournament hop. So sometimes the coaches have this ability and the connections to sniff around with other coaches and kind of know who will be playing where. And then let's say if we are trying to go to the finals, but we know that we can beat this guy and this guy, but we can't beat this guy, then we'll try to find another route around it, that probably a series of small tournaments that leads towards the same event, that we can have a better chance of getting to the finals without having to play this guy, or we simply play where that person's not playing. It's not that you know, I'm scared of this guy, I don't want to play him, but and it may not even be that difficult, because this guy may be fairly easy to beat by my teammate who I can beat, because they have a different style of play. So in the markets, it's similar as well. Like one man's meat is another man's poison. Like spiky markets could be one man's meat and another man's poison. Trending markets could be one man's meat and another man's poison as well. But know where your strength is, and then you want to be planning according to that as well. And then at the end of everything, you want to come back to the very basics. When you come in for your next match, you want to start doing your warm-up, sizing up the opponent. Then you want to understand your opponent, know how he's breathing, how he's running for his shots, how is he hitting the ball, is he left-handed, right-handed. Now third, you want to just like you know, the market conditions. And then the next thing is that you want to execute your plan. And then executing your plan could also be things like measuring your strength. If let's say if your opponent is, if you beat this guy, the next guy is going to be this other dude that you know you have to beat to get to the quarterfinal or the semi-final, then you definitely want to conserve any strength possible. Because I know it feels great to hit hard shots just as it is to win big trades, but at the same time, if we hit those hard shots but don't win the point, we wasted energy. If we hit those hard shots, got ourselves breathing more heavily, and in Asia we sweat like crazy, so the tennis grip gets all like soaked up, and then it affects our ability to grasp the racket tight, so to hit the ball well in the next couple of games, which could cost us. So the same thing, let's say, you know, it sure feels great to win those big trades, but at the same time, what if we miss? Okay, if we miss, or let's say it doesn't respond, the opponent doesn't respond, the market doesn't respond to those big trades as the way we want, and it makes it harder for us to catch our breath and go back in and play it according to the same level. Because if we are constantly using a lot of energy as we are using a lot of big trades, we are going to actually deplete ourselves when we actually find out there's a much easier way to win the situation. And then finally, if everything is not working out, you just want to bail and move on. And then after you bail and move on to the next market trading day, the next week, then you just sit back and note where you went, what went well, what didn't, and try and improve on the ways. And it's just like the military. You want to be constantly training yourself for situations that don't happen. It's not that you want it to happen. It's not that, but at the same time, you want to be prepared. Okay, you want to be prepared for the next time that happens, so that you can manage it better. All right. I hope this video helps you, and I hope it makes a lot of sense. And once again, if you play a different sport than I do, go ahead and comment below this video what sport you play, so I can make videos according to the sport that you know. But I hope this benefited in some way. And if you find this video helpful for you, for your trading and for your general mindset, comment below this video and share this video as well. Subscribe to my channel for more. And if you're not already in Binary Lab, go subscribe at thebinarylab.net/sign-up. Be a part of our trainings. You get to watch my live webinars. You get to see the ways that I trade using the indicators that I use. And most importantly, plug into this powerful community of people around the world that take trades throughout the day. And you can share your ideas and trade setups with other people, and let people help each other out. People have different strengths, and you can help people complement your weaknesses, and you can help other people complement their weaknesses as well. Alright, I'll see you inside the Binary Lab, and bye for now.